Hi guys, I just had the most interesting conversation with a friend of mine about taking responsibility for your own life and about not needing to be rescued or rescue others by making it easy for them to let themselves down. So I wanted to give you a little insight from my coaching practice about how I do this when I work with clients. Often people come and they have really good stories about why they can't do what they want to be doing, why things aren't working out for them. They have lots of excuses and explanations and a beautiful story of poor me, life has been so hard. Now, of course, I could be then the empathetic person that I am in my private life and go, oh yes, this is so hard. You poor thing, that's terrible. Like, how could this possibly, how could you even be where you are right now? If I buy into your story when you are my client, I'm not actually doing you a favor. I am allowing you to let yourself down, and I'm not operating for your highest good. Sometimes my calling you out might sound like I'm mean or I'm uncaring or I'm unempathetic, but by asking critical questions, what I'm trying to do is help you to step back into your power and stop letting yourself down. There's actually a really interesting perspective spiritually that I've learned through my own spiritual practice over the last few years in the path of Bhakti Yoga. It's something that has inspired me forever and has actually really informed the way that I coach. There is this idea that the soul, so your true nature, your innermost, most important part of you, that the soul is to the divine what the drop is to the ocean. I say it again, the soul is to the divine, God in whatever name you wanna call them, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever, Krishna. What the drop is to the ocean. So it's the same divine essence, the same fullness, the same wholeness, completeness, and having everything that you possibly could ever have within you, but obviously not in this vast potency that the divine has, but in a minute potency within yourself. So when I look at people, when I look at my coaching clients, I see first and foremost that there is this grain, this divine spark, this eternal beauty and wholeness and completeness. And interestingly enough, there is a basic saying in NLP, one of the basic prerogatives in NLP, that says something to the avail of you are whole, complete, and able. Everything you need is within you right now. So when I look at you as my client, and I try to not always be a coach when I hang out with my friends, when I look at you as a client, I see and focus on your wholeness and your completeness. That for whatever reason you have learned that you don't have everything you need. You have learned that you're not good enough. You have learned to be fearful. You have learned to be in your victim. But essentially in you, if you could unlearn that, there's wholeness, completeness, and full ability. So this is me then holding you accountable to that soul level. If I call out, excuse my French, if I call out your bullshit, I'm not doing that because I don't like you, because I'm uncaring, but because I can see that something or someone at some point in your life has covered that soul essence with a layer of stupid story, of you can't, you're not good enough, you're a victim, you're too stupid, you're too old, you're too female, God knows what. You have at some point bought a dumb story about yourself, about what is or isn't possible for you. And by me calling out that layer, I'm not here to offend you. I'm here to strip away everything that is not you, because the real you is sitting underneath. The real you happens at the soul level. So what I'll do as a coach, I'm not just give you more resources. They always come from you and from your inside anyway. I might encourage them to find them within you. But it's just as much my job to peel away layer after layer after layer of everything which you are not, and help you become aware that there is so many things that you aren't. And this is something that obviously you can work with a professional coach or a counselor or psychologist, but it's also a journey that you can truly start for yourself. Not only look at what you are lacking, what you don't have, but also look at the stories you are telling yourself about why it isn't possible, and then find people who have done it anyway. There's a myriad of people out there who are highly successful, highly functioning, incredibly inspirational people who've come from really dark places, who have gone through very horrid things. Only have to think of the youngest Peace Prize Nobel winner ever, Malala, who was advocating for young girls' education and got shot in her head, I think at 11 years old or something, really young. And rather than going away hiding after miraculously surviving, she actually stepped up even more, became even more vocal about it with the support of her family, and won the Nobel Peace Prize. What an inspiration. And that in a country where it was literally threatening her life every day to be doing what she was doing. You could look at someone like Oprah Winfrey, who has had a really tough childhood. Research it. It's quite astounding that she chose to step up and step into her power and become a servant of other people, and allowing them to find their own truth more and more and more. It's one of the most successful women in the world. And she could have easily made up a victim story, and poor me stayed in the gutters and had lived a very average kind of life. And time after time after time, you will find people. Nelson Mandela, let's look at a guy. You know, he has not been like a perfect person. Like, he, in his earlier years, also was having some interesting ideas that I wouldn't necessarily find support worthy, but he was locked into jail for well over 40 years, if I remember correctly. And coming out, he chose to not answer violence with violence, to not answer harshness and pain with more harshness and pain, but step into the lessons that he has learned and become soft and become an incredible leader for a country, and lead his country out of violence into a better future, at least for the time that he was there. So all these inspiring people have in common that they were forged out of adversity. It's very rarely that you find one of those kind of amazing people just step out into the open with a clean slate, and not having been through stuff, and not having learned empathy, having learned a fighting spirit, having learned those amazing qualities through adversity. So maybe if you're feeling like a victim sometimes, a victim of your circumstances, and not really able to play all out and live life to the fullest, ask yourself, what are the lessons that you can learn? What are the lessons that your soul needs to learn and needs to re-embrace to be able to step up and give life your all? You know, it often doesn't sit in the help of other people or in somewhere out there. Everything you need is within you right now. And even though your wings might be clipped, you can still go a long way. You know, there's amazing people out there who, even in wheelchairs, even with like quite severe disabilities, are doing fascinating things. So who are we to say that we are victims and can't step up? It's a choice. As much as you might not like to hear this if you're in the middle of this scenario, start asking yourself those questions. What are the BS stories you've been telling yourself? And what would be a better story that you could tell with what you have available to you right now? Thanks for watching. If you like our content, even though it calls you out, ring the bell button or click the bell button and subscribe to our channel. And you can be sure that we're bringing out more interesting content for you. Thank you.